excited yet for a fight, or do you have to wait until it's like Saturday morning and you're walking to the cage?
Well, that's a good question. When we arrived on the airport, I looked as we walked in, and I was like, "Oh, here we go again. This is awesome." And I looked at my teammate traveling with me, and I just said, "No, I'm not getting excited. I'll give it to like around Tuesday. If we're still fighting on Tuesday, we're most probably going to have ourselves a fight. But it's really hard to get that excited and knowing what happened the last few times."
Yeah. Talk to me about, I guess, April, the last time. I mean, just how frustrating was that whole experience for you? And I mean, I don't know. Do you just deal with it, or is it really hard in your career to think you've kind of been stalled a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, but I'm fighting number 12 in the world right now, so we're good. I mean, my first fight was Chris Curtis, who wasn't really ranked, but that wasn't a big fight. He's taken out some very, very good opponents, and then getting Anthony Hernandez, who's ranked quite a bit further back. But I mean, it was only my third fight, so I was happy to go out there, put on an amazing performance, and then getting my big shot, and then of course the Calvin Gastelum opportunity coming in. And I mean, I felt ready to fight the number one in the world for April 9th. I was ready to fight anybody. That opportunity came, and I was immediately ready for it. And of course, the big up and then the big down. That's the name of the game in MMA, I guess. But I mean, it was frustrating in the sense that I was so ready to go out and perform. It wasn't the fact that I would have been number 8, which was obviously a great jump for me. It was the fact that I felt so ready to go out and perform, and I was in great shape. All the hard work already started cutting weight. I mean, if you get your fight cancelled 4 weeks or 3 weeks or 2 weeks out, that's one thing. But on fight week, it stings a little. But I mean, I had my 2 days of sulking, and I had to get over it. Went to Sanford, spent 4 or 5 weeks there. Got some amazing training in. So good to be back there. Went back home with my team in South Africa, and we started camping for this fight. So, I mean, everything will work out the way it should, like it always does. And the stars aligned once again, and here I am, International Fight Week. Yes, we've been delayed a little, but I mean, with COVID, all that being done now, hopefully no more delays will come, and this is going to be massive. This is the biggest card of the year. Once again, I'm fighting on, and I can't be more excited.
What are your thoughts on Brad as an opponent? I mean, a guy that's obviously been around for a long time. He's been in the rankings for a long time. What do you think about him as an opponent?
Yeah, I think they really are not doing me any favors getting into the top 15. He is an incredible tough opponent. I think he's always been game. He's always comes to fight. He's always in shape. You won't see this guy just gassing out in a fight because he didn't prepare. You don't see this guy just going away because he's getting. I mean, he fought Yoel Romero. He stayed competitive till the end. He got beat pretty badly by a champ, but it wasn't like he just shelled up. He tried to get that fight. He tried to get the champ out of there every chance he got. But no, he's not fighting one of those guys. He's fighting me. He is an incredible fighter. I think he's always has been, but I do think he's never quite progressed. If you look at his age, if you look at all of his fights, if you look at from day one to now, not a lot of change happening in his style. He's not going to shoot for the takedown, is he? No. He's not going to start to strike more strategically. No, he's going to come out there and bang. It's traditional Muay Thai style, trying to throw the heavy leg kicks. That's what he's going to do. He's always fought like that, and it's worked for him, and it hasn't worked for him. But no, that's the way he fights. It's not going to change anytime soon. So respect to him. He's an amazing athlete, and he's a really, really tough fighter and a great gatekeeper. But there's a new generation coming through.
Last thing for me, I'll ask you, I mean, what's the goal here? Like, obviously you want to win, but, you know, with this year away, do you feel like you've got to do something spectacular, like regain some momentum that maybe you lost? Or is it just, you know, beat a ranked opponent and see where you end up? Like, what's the goal for you?
Yeah, to be honest, it doesn't even feel like a year for me. It feels like just the other day I was sitting here with you guys, the exact same arena, International Fight Week. I don't feel I've lost any momentum. I mean, in training, my mindset has been prepping for fights for the whole time. So, I mean, it's not like, in my mind, this is fighting 2 months after my last fight. I don't feel that I've been out of the cage for a year at all. I don't feel that I lost any momentum. And any momentum lost, anybody that might have forgotten my name, let me remind you, it's Dricus to Plessis. And everybody will be reminded again on Saturday night.
Dricus back here. All the way back here.
Oh,
how's it going? The one good thing about being out for a year is it gives you a lot of time to evolve and improve in a lot of ways. So how do you feel like you have evolved the most over this last year while you're waiting to get back in the octagon?
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you just your mindset in terms of who I fought and who I'm fighting right now, that alone, being considered as the guy to fight Calvin Gastelum already tells me everything I need to know of what the organization, what everybody thinks, what my worth is, where I need to be fighting. I've had 2 fights in the UFC. Being able to, the UFC calling it on me to say, listen, will you take that Gastelum fight? That already tells me what I need to know. They also think I'm a future champion. And that the mental battles I had to go through by fights getting cancelled, getting a surgery, injuries, 3 opponents cancelled, all that, it only made me stronger. And that is only the mental part. Physically, watching fights, seeing the sport evolve as you watch these events. I mean, if you look at the past few events, the guys are just incredible. And that just motivates me to step it up. It motivates my whole team. It motivates every part of me to know and see where the sport is going, firstly, and secondly, knowing and seeing that what we've been doing is growing in the right direction.
And what does a win over a guy like Brad do for you? Like, it builds back, continues your momentum, but where do you think this puts you in the division with the victory on Saturday?
You know, in my head, obviously the goal is to be the champion. 100%. I have no doubt that that's where I'll end up. But Brad Tavares is my 3rd fight. He fought easy on his 3rd fight. He fought the champion. The champion did beat him, but he didn't get him out of there. So I'm not saying I'm going to go out there and be reckless and just try and do something spectacular. I'm going to do what I do. The way I fight is always exciting. Always has been. I'm going to go out there and try and be me. I'm going to go out there and fight and get Brad Tavares out of there before that 3rd round bell goes. I don't want to leave this to the judges. It's not my thing. And I want to do what the champ in under 3 rounds what the champ couldn't do in 5.
And then last thing for me, your goal is to get to the title, and the main event of this card is for the title in your division, Israel Adesanya versus Jared Cannonier. Curious to get your thoughts on the fight and who you think will come out of that one with the belt.
Yeah, absolutely. Amazing fight. Both guys are incredible in their own way. Jared Cannonier, going from heavyweight, a big heavyweight, to light heavy, 185. Incredible shape. He's just a beast of a man. It's inspiring, his story, the way the things he's done, and working his way up. Especially if you look at his age, working his way up against all these youngsters, all these guys that are young and hungry, and he just keeps that hunger inside of him. It's amazing. Then of course the champion there's no denying how great he is. I think it's an amazing matchup. I honestly just see Izzy being too slick, being too quick, and Cannonier he's a great striker. He hits hard, and listen, anything can happen. If he catches you, you're in big trouble. But I don't believe he has the wrestling to neutralize the stand-up of the champ. And I think the champ is going to be too long, too slick, and just too calculated for him.
Hey, Dricus over here. Just to piggyback off that question, Israel is about a 4-1 betting favorite going into this fight. Do you think the odds are a bit off there? Because Jared obviously has some serious knockout power.
Anytime in MMA, when the odds are 4-1, there's something wrong there.
Okay. And you trained with Shavkat Rakhmonov. He had a really big win last week over Neil Magny. What did you make of his performance, or just how dominant he was?
Wow, I mean, the guy is unbeaten and an incredible fighter. He's... going and finishing Neil Magny, that doesn't happen every day. He is an incredible wrestler. He's an incredible grinder, and he just synced that guillotine in. It wasn't that his opponent was tired or shooting desperately. He just took that guillotine. He didn't wait for it. Definitely somebody to watch.
And speaking of someone to watch, what's been the support from the South African fans going into this fight? It's one thing to fight on a UFC card, but to be on International Fight Week, the spotlight's even bigger. How much is that sort of, giving you a nice boost going into this fight?
Absolutely. I mean, after the 2 fights, it just grows and grows and grows. And, South Africa couldn't be more excited. It feels on the same day that we're fighting, the Springbok rugby team is playing, and I know they're going to get that win, and then I'll be carrying on that momentum. So the whole country is already excited. And this is basically 2 Springbok World Cup games happening in one. It's the Springboks playing and then I'm going to bring it home for the country. And everybody is so excited. Places are booked out. People are doing watch parties. It's going to be massive, and people are just getting more excited for every event. And I'm really excited about that.
Dricus back here.
Hey.
Way over here, right? I saw that you were working with Sanford and you referred to that. Will you have any of the coaches from Sanford in your corner, or is it just the CIT team?
Yeah, I've been working with Sanford for quite a while. Go out there as often as I possibly can. The first time I went was like 4 or 5 years ago, but with COVID, I wasn't able to go there for 2 years. So after the fight got cancelled now, in April we went, I spent some 4 or 5 weeks at Sanford, and I'm really well acquainted there, and we do a lot of cross training with Sanford. That's basically what we're doing, cross training between CIT and Sanford. But my team that got me ready for that I camp with is CIT, and will be in my corner.
Following you on social media, how many times did you go back and forth from the States to South Africa and back in this camp?
Oh, luckily I just after the fight I stayed for a couple of weeks, like I said, and then went back to South Africa, camped there, and now we're back here. So it's basically I just went back, did my camp, flew back in.
And then my final question, you referred to it, we have an African-born champion in Adesanya headlining the card. You've talked about it, your own hopes to see UFC Africa and being a part of it. I mean, does it feel more motivating when you see, the impact of Ngannou and Usman and being on the undercard now of one of those champions?
Yeah, I mean, for me, my fight got moved up to the prelims, if I'm not mistaken. And that's great. It sucks that I have to celebrate being on the prelims, but I said this for the first fight. My first fight was on the main card, but it was a much smaller card. Second fight, prelims, great. Conor McGregor, Poirier 3. And here I come. Massive fight card, early prelims, enjoy that. And I was like, well, if I get another knockout, will they put me on for a prelim fight? But, well, moved up to the prelims, and I guess if they want to keep me there, go for it. I mean, I'm getting the exposure I need. Fighting on the big cards is what I want, and I'm just going to keep on performing. And at the end of the day, that performance is going to get me to the main card. And I mean, I don't know what else I can do, but I'll just keep on performing. That's my job, to get in there, fight, get a performance, and perform the way I know I can and like I have been doing. Motivating me, they don't motivate me. I motivate me. Fighting for my country, fighting for myself, coming from South Africa, that motivates me. Seeing that African-born champions is a thing in the UFC motivates me 100%. But I'm self-motivated. I'm motivated by carrying my country's flag, knowing that I live in that country, knowing that that is the country I represent. 100% I am part of that country every single day of my life. And I'm coming over here and I'm representing them, carrying that flag, and it's an absolute massive honor. It's a big responsibility, and with that responsibility is just so big that it makes me feel big. It makes me understand the magnitude of this situation and how important it is for me to perform. And I love that because that makes me perform.
Dricus, wat dink jy van jou opponent en hoe sien jy die fight afloop?
Saai man, hoe gaan dit?
My broer, ons is baie trots op jou.
Baie dankie, lekker om julle hier te hê.
Ja, so wat dink jy van jou opponent, Brad, en hoe sien jy die fight afloop?
Ek dink hy is 'n ongelooflike opponent. Ek dink hy is iemand wat hy het al alles gesien, 21 fights in die UFC. So ek kan nie dink dat hierdie vir hom iets niets gaan wees nie. Maar tot daai klok lui, dan gaan dit vir hom iets niets wees. Hy het al baie mense gefight, hy het die champion gefight, maar hy het my nog nie gefight nie. Hy het nog nie die Afrikaanse woordjie gefight nie. So ons gaan nou sien, en ek glo dit sal die eerste skok van sy loopbaan wees. En alhoewel ek dink hy is 'n ongelooflike fighter, dink ek nie daar's 'n manier wat hy reg is of wat kom nie.
En hoe voel dit om Suid-Afrika te verteenwoordig?
Ongelooflik om hier te kan sit, Afrikaans te praat en te weet daar's miljoene mense wat my verstaan. Dit alleen is vir my 'n ongelooflike groot eer, en ek sal daai vlag dra en ek sal vir Suid-Afrika weer eens op die wêreld se grootste platform wys wat ons kan doen, en die hoop wat dit gee, die die inspirasie wat dit gee vir almal in Suid-Afrika. Daar's niks wat ons so een maak so sport nie, en ek kan nie wag om Saterdag aand weer die hele land op hulle voete te hê en te sien hoe almal ongelooflik bly is in die support, en dis net ongelooflik.
Dankie my broer. Ons vir jou.
Ons vir jou. Thank you guys.